Okay, so I'm always starting with my hooks in, head control. Remember here, I could just simply go thumb in, loop around the head. And now I start to put the elbow pressure, and then I lean my weight over his head. From here, I pinch my knee in tight to his body, pinch both knees in tight, and then I cut up under the elbow. And I'm always expecting a possible roll this way because I'm leaning that way. It's pretty easily addressed with my kickstand hand that I always leave ready. Now I need to put a roof over his head, so I keep working that knee up until it's over his head. Turn it this way again, John. So we're here. This leg should be tight to the hip, knee down. Now we're going to grab this sleeve and pull it across. From here I can transfer to S-mount. This mechanic here is what we did in the line crawl. Right there. Now I'm going to go under the arm that I'm arm barring, over the tricep or the elbow of the other arm. So both arms are controlled. For now, I'm going to go ahead and let go of his lapel. Grab his pant leg, transferring all my weight on his chest so I can get this leg to come over the head, sit back for the arm bar. Once again, this leg is underneath that leg. If I did all of that, and I attack his wrist right here like this, his chances of a good defense are very slim. Go ahead and give him, we'll start with the best one, all right? For him, this is a really good defense. If the arm that I'm trying to attack is hidden under the far side arm, and that far side arm is hidden under my leg, this is gonna be, I'm not gonna get the arm bar like this, right? So, here's what we wanna do. I wanna make sure I'm hugging the arm with this one close to the legs. Like that, okay? And I do what I call a crowbar. Under the arm, over my leg, and I'm leaning on it. And here I wanna make sure that I'm heels in, hips in tight, crunching over the elbow. Because another thing he's gonna try to do, if I'm loose and giving him space, is turn his elbow to the mat like this. Right? So I don't want that to happen. My position has got to be really tight. We have the crowbar. We're really tight to the elbow. And now I'm kind of leaning over the head a little bit at this point. And we're crunching and everything really tight. All right, so there's various ways we can get out or finish off. What I want to do right now is I'm going to take this hand momentarily. I'm just going to grab his wrists and pull and just pop that off real fast. All right? So number one is just, we need to deal with this one first. One. Just pop it off. Okay? Now, this hand is going to rip the arm towards the legs as I push that wrist away.
So we looked at today,
so, like this. Push and pull towards the legs. Now I'm going to control the wrist completely, fall towards the legs. I'm focusing on my inside hip at this point. Alright, so we're here again. Like this. So the answer to this is pretty simple. I'm going to grab that wrist, so I just get tight first. Nice and tight. I'm going to grab this wrist. I'm going to kind of push out for a second. And then come back. Alright? And as I'm doing that, I'm not coming back all the way, I'm just coming back enough. And I push out again and lean towards or pull towards the legs. Control the wrists. Sit back.
So right here, I still have my key lock grip.
Focus on the inside hip.
So I'm going to go ahead and switch my 2-on-1 wrist grip.
This position is very important. That we're getting very comfortable just being here. This is usually what I do when I go for arm bars, is I want to get to this position, and then from here I'm in no hurry. Alright? So no hurry at all. Focus on control. It's always position before submission. And this is my arm bar position that I need to establish very well before I'm even really concerned about the finish. Alright? Establish your control first. So everything's tight. I can go here. One.
Grabbing his own wrist like that, I have my
2,
So I'm going to take my hand,
3.
my free hand that I would base with.
I can also feed that here,
His hand towards his wrist.
like that if I want, okay? And then I can come back and do the same thing.
Let's go.
So one technique is once we clear the hand, is just to try to push and pull this thing apart, okay? One of my favorite techniques to do right here, once I get the hand out, so let's say I'm just going to go like this, just get that hand out. So I'm going to go, I never lose control of the wrist, but I'm going to do a little transition. So I go 1, 2. All right, so now look at my grip. And most of the time, they give me exactly what I want right here. He's still trying to get his elbow to the mat. Now I'm going to loosen up a little bit just so he feels confident that that's what he wants to do. So he starts to pull that elbow to the mat. So we end up here. So now look, I'm going to use this as my base, climb my hip around, hook his head here, keep control of the wrist, and now I'm going to go ankles crossed behind the head, bring my body to the wrist, and fall so that I'm facing the legs.
So I just gotta take a moment, get comfortable here.
Come around. I'm not going to bring my leg around because he's going to catch that. That's going to cause a problem for me. So just keep my ankles crossed right here. I pinch the knees nice and tight, and we finish. So here again, I'm going to get the wrist out.
Slow, be ready for the tap. Just let's go.
I got to loosen up a little bit and just close it back off. And this time I'm going to come out and grab here. Right? Base with this hand. And as he's pulling the elbow down, I use this leg to bring my hip up, and I turn that knee to the mat. Make sure that my foot just hooks behind the head. My hip's coming around behind the elbow. Right? And as I'm doing this whole thing, I'm already beginning to extend the arm, but I'm going to turn and face his legs. So put my shoulder down and then drop the hip down. This hand just helping me guide where he goes. So now we're belly up, ankles crossed behind the neck, 2 to 1. Squeeze the knees tight, lift the hips. So here, get rid of this first. Bring the hand around, hip up, right into position here. So as I come forward, sometimes, most of the time they roll here because the foot behind the head kind of encourages that roll. But sometimes they'll stay. So if they stay, I'm just here. I'm just going to start to put the pressure right here like that. More than likely they'll roll. I always want this hand to be controlling this leg, just to guide the roll. Make sure he's not stepping over my head, but that he's rolling. And I just follow with him with my hips, and we finish here.
My leg's not over the